Once again, we're entering a jam-packed weekend of football. It all starts tonight with week 8 of the high school football season. Matt DiGregorio joins us with a preview of all the action. Okay, so the game of the week is where really the playoff picture in high school football is starting to take shape.
Yeah, absolutely. What an exciting game that we have for you guys tonight. Gulfport and West Harrison. Gulfport has been on an absolute tear since they started the season a little bit less enthused than we thought the teams were they were going to be. Gulfport, I mean, when they got that win against Ocean Springs, they showed something with their defense in that game. That front seven, it's young, it's hungry, it's ready to make an impact, and they surely have since they took over in the 7A scheduling. Look, this game against West Harrison is going to come down to, can West Harrison run the football against Gulfport's front seven? I don't know if they'll be able to. We'll have the highlights tonight on the Friday Night Football Showdown.
We're going to see some great players in that game tonight. West Harrison, several appearances on the WLOX game of the week. Tomorrow, it's the third Saturday in October, time for college football. And Ole Miss versus Georgia. It is the biggest game tomorrow in college football. And I've got a question for you, Matt. So Ole Miss has the opportunity tomorrow to do something that has not been done since the Sugar Bowl of 1963. What is it?
That is beat Georgia for the second consecutive season.
No, that's not right. So it's a matchup of two top 10 teams, Ole Miss and Georgia both in the top 10. Ole Miss has not won one of these games with two teams in the top 10 since 1963.
That's unbelievable. That's actually fascinating.
Well, it hasn't happened a whole lot. It's extremely rare.
Well, but even given the recent success of Ole Miss and their SEC schedule the last couple of years, you'd think at some point in there that they would have faced a top 10 team as a top 10 team. Wow. This was the matchup last year where Austin Simmons, the legend of Austin Simmons, blossomed, right? He came into the game for an injured Jackson Dart at the time, led that touchdown drive. Really, the key drive in that game was led by Simmons, and that's what sparked all of the excitement with the left-handed quarterback coming into this year. Obviously, he's been hurt. He's been battling that ankle injury. Ole Miss struggled, Hugh, on Saturday against Washington State. Tomorrow, they have a real opportunity to right that ship. Maybe it was a look-ahead game. Go on the road to Georgia, a tough environment in Athens to go ahead and play. I see them more likely than not covering the 7.5 points as underdogs. Can they get the job done?
But Georgia is going to be ready for that game after Ole Miss beat them last year. That game on WLOX ABC at 2:30, a part of a jam-packed slate. Once again on ABC, starts with LSU and Vanderbilt at 11 a.m. Then the nightcap is Alabama and Tennessee.
I mean, just all SEC football all day long. All those teams are ranked right now, actually. So,
that's right. Really
every single one of those teams are ranked.
LSU actually an underdog at Vanderbilt. That's kind of strange. Okay, let's get to Mississippi State also in the SEC, playing at Florida. Billy Napier, the Florida coach, we're talking about him maybe getting fired every week if he doesn't win this game. That's where we are this week.
Just 2 wins right now for Florida. Mississippi State, of course, 4-2, but they're reeling right now. They're coming off a bye week after losing 2 consecutive games. Can they win this game? I don't think so. I really don't think that they have the personnel to go down to the swamp, weather the storm of 100,000+ Floridians going absolutely crazy against the Bulldogs. Billy Napier always seems to find a way, Hugh. He always seems to find a way to keep his job. I do think he'll survive another week.
Okay, Mississippi State 0-2 in the conference after getting off to that hot start. We'll see what the Bulldogs do. Also, Southern Miss, undefeated in the conference right now, playing in Lafayette against the Raging Cajuns.
And the team over there in Lafayette, the Cajuns, they're also a team that has been kind of dealt with injuries. I mean, they're a team that, coming into the year, one of the favorites to win the Sun Belt with Walker Howard, the Ole Miss transfer, coming in as the signal caller. He's a Lafayette kid. He was out of the lineup after week 1. I think Southern Miss, if they can get things going offensively, the defense should be fine. They're coming off an extra couple days of rest after playing on Thursday night. Southern Miss is trying to do something. I just did the research a little bit ago. They're trying to do something which is win 3 straight conference games to begin the season for the first time since they were a member of Conference USA back in 2004. Fascinating. If they can get the job done, the Southern Miss Golden Eagles are the real deal to contend for a Sun Belt West title.
They're in great position. Jeff Bauer was the head coach then for the Golden Eagles. All right, let's flip it to Sunday. The New Orleans Saints, after the first win against the Giants, couldn't keep it going last week against the Patriots. Now you have to go on the road against a Bears team that's playing pretty well.
Yeah, they are. And it took a last-second field goal for the Bears to get the job done. They really wanted to win that game on Monday against the Commanders. Can they do it 2 days from now? I think that they're a good matchup against the Saints. You know, the Saints have had an edge, right? They've had a chip on their shoulder because there's that mix of young roster and veteran leadership. See what you have, see what you still have. Are these chips going to get traded? And Spencer Rattler has been the bright spot in all of this. And that is something that many people did not think that we were going to say. I think many people at this point in the season, including myself, thought that we would be talking about Tyler Shuck as the starting quarterback. See what you got here. If you got nothing, tank, go to the draft. Spencer Rattler, if he was not a 5th-round pick, if he had some real weapons, and Chris Olave has been dealing with the drops a lot, he's put up numbers so far with just 1 interception so far in meaningful time on all these touchdowns. He's going over 200 yards passing each game, extending plays with his legs. He has been a bright spot. I think he can go up to Chicago and give that Bears defense a tough time there. I hope the Saints can get the job done this week because it will silence a lot of people who have been starting to get a little frustrated with Kellen Moore. I don't think Kellen Moore is the problem here, so we'll see what kind of game plan he's
the Saints do look to be getting better, just haven't won the games just yet.
Yeah.
All right, Saints and Bears Sunday at noon. Matt DeGregorio, thanks for joining us, and we hope you all have a good time watching the football this weekend.